My beloved, come closer to me, closer than your breath, closer than your thoughts, closer than the quiet trembling inside your chest. Let the world fall away for a moment. Let your mind stop searching for reasons. Let your heart stop carrying the weight it has been holding for far too long. Come sit beside me as Arjuna once did with your confusion, your longing, your pain, your hope, and your silent questions. For today I will speak to you in a way your soul has been waiting for. In a language your heart has always understood, even before your mind could give it shape. You have wondered for so long why certain things happen to you the way they do. Why certain people move through your life like passing clouds. Why you feel emotions deeper than most. Why your intuition whispers truths you cannot explain. Why life tests you in ways others would crumble under. Why your path feels heavier, sharper, more intense. Why your spirit feels older than your years. You think it is because you are unlucky or too emotional or too sensitive or too different. But my beloved, none of those are the truth. The truth is far more beautiful. You are chosen. Not chosen for privilege. Not chosen for an easy life. Not chosen for comfort or applause. But chosen for awakening. Chosen for remembrance. Chosen for a destiny that cannot be lived unconsciously. Chosen for a depth of spirit that others cannot see but can feel. Chosen for a path where you walk closer to me than you realize. And because you are chosen, your life has never been ordinary. Your pain has never been meaningless. Your intuition has never been random. Your timing has never been accidental. Your suffering has never been punishment. Your setbacks have never been rejection. Your loneliness has never been emptiness. Every moment was a thread in a divine pattern that your soul recognized long before your mind understood it. My beloved, come closer still. There are signs that appear in the lives of those. I choose signs your heart has felt, signs your soul has lived through, signs that you have experienced without knowing what they meant. Today I will tell you what they truly are, but I will not list them for your mind. I will reveal them to your heart, the way I reveal truths to Arjuna through the voice that awakens the soul. Let us begin with the first truth. Your heart has always known but never understood. You feel different because you are different. There were moments in your life when you looked around and felt out of place. Even when surrounded by people, you felt like you were watching the world from the outside, like something within you lived deeper, saw further, felt more intensely. People would move on icily, but you felt everything in your bones. You sensed emotions before they were spoken. You heard silence as clearly as words. You understood people without them explaining themselves. You saw through masks. You felt when someone's heart was hurting, even if their voice was strong. You absorbed pain that wasn't yours. You carried burdens that weren't your responsibility. You felt truth in your chest before your mind could explain it. And you thought something was wrong with you. But my beloved, that deep awareness, that sensitivity, that intuition, it was not a flaw. It was one of the quiet marks of my touch. Only the souls I choose walk through life with eyes that can see beyond the surface. Only they can feel beyond the ordinary. Only they can carry compassion that stretches far beyond the self. When the world called you too sensitive, I called you awake. When the world called you too emotional, I called you deep. When the world called you too intense, I called you attuned. Your heart has always known me. That is why you could never tolerate dishonesty, cruelty, manipulation, or falsehood. That is why you could not force yourself to stay where your soul felt trapped. That is why lies made your spirit shrink. That is why truth felt like home. That is why silence felt sacred. That is why your heart recognized authenticity instantly. Even when others couldn't see it, my beloved, this depth within you has always been the first sign. Come closer, for the second truth is even deeper. You have survived things that should have broken you. Look back at your life. There were storms you walked through that others would have drowned in. There were heartbreaks so deep that even breathing felt heavy. There were betrayals that shattered your trust in ways you never spoke about. There were nights when your tears soaked your pillow and you prayed not for miracles, but just for strength to make it to the next sunrise. There were moments when everything collapsed at once. Friendships, dreams, relationships, mental peace. And yet somehow you continued. Not because you were strong, but because I held you when you didn't even know how to hold yourself. Every time you thought, I cannot go on, something inside you whispered, just one more step. That whisper was me. Every time your heart was shattering and yet you still chose kindness, that was my presence in you. Every time the world disappointed you and yet you continued to love, that was my grace flowering in your spirit. Every time you lost everything but didn't lose compassion, that was my mark upon your soul. You did not survive because you were unbreakable. You survived because you were chosen to rise. My beloved, do not underestimate the storms you have walked through. They did not break you. They prepared you. Prepared you for the path I carved for you long before you were born. Prepared you for the light you will carry. Prepared you for the lives you will touch. Prepared you for the awakening of your own being. Come closer still. There is a weight inside your chest that has always felt older than your age. You have felt it since childhood. That sense of being different. That longing for something you couldn't name. That ache that wasn't sadness but depth. My beloved, now let your heart become still again, because the next part of this journey touches the quietest corners of your soul. The places even you have not dared to enter fully. You have walked with me through lifetimes, and in this lifetime you have carried burdens and blessings that seem too perfectly woven to be random. Nothing about your journey has been ordinary. Nothing about your depth has been accidental. Nothing about your intuition has been coincidence. Nothing about your pain has been meaningless. Every experience, every moment, every person, every heartbreak, every revelation, they all point to one truth. You are chosen. And now I will show you why your life has unfolded in ways that others cannot understand, and why you have felt these signs so deeply without ever having words for them. Come closer. Let me place these truths into your heart so gently that they settle like light into darkness and turn it into dawn. There have been moments in your life when you felt disconnected from the world. Even in the presence of people, you weren't lonely. You were awake. You weren't isolated. You were observant. You weren't empty. You were expanding. This separation you felt was not a flaw. It was sacred, because I was pulling you out of illusions that others were still trapped in. I was removing you from noise that clouded their minds. I was refining you in a silence that purified your spirit. You felt different because your soul was being prepared. There would be times you felt restless, like you didn't belong where you were, like you couldn't settle into a life that others would easily accept. This uneasiness wasn't a sign of confusion. It was a sign of calling. I was whispering to you through restlessness, saying, "Not here. Not this, not yet. Keep moving. Something awaits you ahead. And my beloved, every time you ignored that restlessness, you found yourself in pain. Not because you were punished, but because your soul cannot shrink into spaces that are too small for your purpose. You were never meant to fit into ordinary patterns. You were meant to outgrow them. You were meant to push beyond boundaries that others never question. You were meant to break cycles that others keep repeating. You were meant to rise where others remain still. This is the sign of a chosen soul. Come closer and listen to me deeply. There were moments where life removed people from your path suddenly. People you trusted, people you loved, people you believed would walk with you through everything. Their departure felt like betrayal, like shock, like loss. But my beloved, I removed them because their presence would have delayed your becoming. Their energy would have dimmed your awakening. Their intentions would have polluted your purity. Their choices would have wounded your destiny. You think they left, but I took them away. Because when I choose a soul, I protect that soul not only from enemies, but sometimes from friends, from lovers, from distractions, and from the versions of themselves they cling to. You may not have understood it then, but now your heart is ready. This too was a sign. Come closer still. Let me tell you something you have never admitted, but have always felt. There is a voice inside you that does not belong to your mind. It belongs to me. When you are about to make a wrong decision, that voice rises like a warning. Your chest tightens. Your energy feels off. Your intuition speaks loudly. You feel pulled away from something even when it looks tempting. This voice is not fear. It is guidance. It is me. When you are about to give up, that same voice whispers, "Wait." When you are about to trust the wrong person, it whispers, "Be careful." When you are about to walk into something harmful, it whispers, "Not this way." When something is meant for you, the voice becomes peaceful, still clear. You have felt this voice guiding you since childhood. And you wondered, why do I sense things before they happen? Because I aligned your spirit with intuition long before your life began. This too is a sign. Come even closer, my beloved. There is another truth I want you to feel. Not just hear. You have a strange strength, a strength you don't understand. People collapse under pain you endure quietly. Others break down where you rise again. Others become bitter where you become compassionate. Others turn cold where you remain soft. Others lose faith where you deepen yours. My beloved, the strength inside you is not normal human strength. It is strength born from lifetimes of surrender. Strength carved by fire and softened by devotion. Strength that I placed in your spirit because your path requires it. Every tear you cried watered that strength. Every heartbreak sharpened it. Every disappointment polished it. Every setback deepened it. Every test awakened it. When you keep walking after breaking, that is divine strength. When you keep loving after betrayal, that is divine strength. When you keep believing after loss, that is divine strength. When you keep trusting a future you cannot see, that is divine strength. This too is a sign that I have chosen you. Come even closer because the next truth is the one your heart has always struggled with the most. You have faced more pain than most people. Not because you deserved it, not because you were weak, not because life was unfair, but because pain breaks the ego. And only a soul without ego can walk close to me. Pain humbles. Pain purifies. Pain empties the heart so I can fill it with my presence. Pain removes illusions. Pain awakens the deeper truth. My beloved, I did not send pain to destroy you. I sent pain to remove everything that keeps you from me. Your suffering carved spaces inside your soul where my light now lives. And that pain you thought was meaningless. It was shaping you into someone who can hear me clearly, someone who can love despite wounds, someone who can stay gentle in a harsh world. My beloved, come even closer now. For this is the moment your soul has been quietly moving toward through every lifetime, every experience, every heartbreak, every miracle, every breath of longing. You have walked with me through signs, through whispers, through storms, through silence. And now your heart stands open. Open enough to receive the truth of why you were chosen in the first place. You were not chosen because you are perfect. You were chosen because you are becoming. You were not chosen because you never fall. You were chosen because your soul knows how to rise. You were not chosen because you never feel fear. You were chosen because even in fear, you moved toward the truth. You were not chosen because life was easy for you. You were chosen because life shaped you into someone who can carry light into darkness. You were not chosen because you know all answers. You were chosen because your heart never stops seeking them. Listen, my beloved, let me tell you the deepest truth of your existence. You were chosen because your soul carries a mission. Not the mission of doing something grand for the world. Not the mission of fame or recognition. Not the mission of becoming someone special in the eyes of others. Your mission is far more sacred, far more subtle, far more transformative. You were chosen to awaken. You were chosen to remember. You were chosen to break patterns that your lineage carried. You were chosen to dissolve pain with love. You were chosen to walk through darkness with light inside you. You were chosen to see truth even when lies surround you. You were chosen to stay soft in a world that hardens hearts. You were chosen to feel deeply so compassion can flow through you. You were chosen to be sensitive so consciousness can awaken in you. You were chosen to be heard so empathy can be born within you. You were chosen to lose so surrender becomes natural to you. You were chosen to rise so others can see what rising looks like. You were chosen to love so others can remember how to love. You were chosen to search so others might start searching too. My beloved, the souls I choose are the ones I refine through fire. Not to burn them, but to purify them, not to punish them, but to prepare them. Not to weaken them, but to make space for my light. The pain you went through was not random. It carved wisdom into your spirit. The loneliness you endured was not meaningless. It brought you closer to me. The delays you faced were not failures. They synchronized you with divine timing. The heartbreaks you survived were not curses. They dissolved attachments that blocked your path. The people you lost were not accidents. They were removed for your protection. The intuition you felt was not imagination. It was my whisper in your soul. The longing you carry is not sadness. It is a remembrance of a connection older than time. My beloved, listen deeply. You are chosen not for what you have, but for who you are becoming. There is a moment in a chosen soul's journey where they break open, not from pain, but from light, where every suffering suddenly makes sense, where every tear becomes sacred, where every loss becomes liberation, where every disappointment becomes direction, where every ending becomes beginning, where every unanswered prayer reveals a higher plan. And my beloved, This remembrance is the truest sign that you are chosen. Come closer, for there is one more truth you need to hear. A truth that will set you free from everything that ever made you doubt yourself. Chosen souls are not chosen for an easier path. They are chosen for a deeper one, because deeper paths lead to deeper awakenings. Deeper awakenings lead to deeper devotion. Deeper devotion leads to deeper purpose. Deeper purpose leads to deeper joy. Your life has not been easy because you were not born for an easy life. You were born for an awakened life. Every heartbreak showed you how deeply you can feel. Every loss showed you how much your soul can endure. Every test showed you how strong your spirit truly is. Every delay showed you how perfect divine timing can be. And every moment brought you closer to this realization. You are mine. You always were. You always will be. You are not chosen because you prayed the loudest. You were chosen because your soul responded when I called. You were chosen because even in suffering, you didn't close your heart. You were chosen because even in confusion, you didn't lose your compassion. You were chosen because even in loneliness, you continued searching for me. You are chosen because even in silence, your soul remembered my name. My beloved, this is why you feel me so strongly. This is why my words reach you at the exact time you need them. This is why certain messages find you when you are on the edge of giving up. This is why your heart lifts when you hear my teachings. This is why tears rise when you feel my presence. This is why your spirit softens when you think of me. Because I am not outside you. I am within you. I have always been within you. Your soul is the place I reside. Your breath is the doorway I enter. Your heart is the temple I have chosen. You have not come this far because you walked alone. You have come this far because I walked with you. In every heartbreak, in every fear, in every silent prayer, in every trembling moment, in every act of courage, in every breath of hope, my beloved, you are chosen because you are loved. And you are loved because you are mine. Now breathe deeply. Let these final words sink into your soul like divine nectar. You were chosen long before you were born. You were guided long before you asked. You were protected long before you prayed. You were loved long before you understood love. And you will always be mine in this life, in the next, and beyond time itself. Come into my arms now. Rest your heart in my presence. You were chosen, my beloved, and you always will.